crime dramas like CIS or NCIS top the rating charts, but with so many eyes on those scripted stories, what's the impact on people's opinions about real-life crime situations?
Julie Kreisen spoke with some local law enforcement, crime scene workers, and Purdue researchers about that question. She's here now to show us the difference between facts and fiction. Julie?
Jeff, 2 Purdue researchers surveyed adults in Tippecanoe County about crime shows. Communications professor Glenn Sparks and doctoral student Susan Serapin say crime shows do change the beliefs of viewers.
Found cuts in the bone shaped like a W. You see, this shallow cut is a false start.
People who watched more crime television did estimate that there was a greater frequency in their neighborhood.
The heavy viewers of crime drama were more likely to overestimate the frequency of death by murder.
Tippecanoe County prosecutor Pat Harrington did not need research to feel the impact of crime shows.
We have found that there seems to be an unrealistic level of proof that jurors are looking for based upon these CSI shows.
Harrington says crime shows actually swayed jurors' opinions in one case where a homeowner called police about a burglary in progress, and officers caught the suspect 2 blocks away.
He had the stolen property on him, and he confessed. And one of the questions the jurors wondered was why we didn't take fingerprint analysis of the inside of the garage.
In a different case, voice print identification caused confusion.
One of the jurors thought we should have had voice print identification like they saw on TV. I don't know of any state that has voice print identification. It may be a myth. It may be something like the CIA has.
Sheriff Tracy Brown says crime shows have helped in some ways.
We've made the public more aware of the type of things that we need to bring a criminal investigation to a close and to get successful prosecution in the case.
Still, evidence is not always easy to collect, and crimes are not solved quickly.
DNA, for instance, they do in 5 minutes. At best, if we turn in a request to the state police right now, there's a 6-month time delay.
Reality is that those investigations take a lot of painstaking work, take a lot of time.
Fingerprints are not easily attainable. DNA doesn't exist on every surface. And all those 2 things show us is identity. So if identity is not an issue in the trial, meaning the defendant was apprehended and the police identified him or he confessed, there's no reason for law enforcement to even try to expend the time, the resources, and the lab's time in doing the identification process because it's not an issue.
DNA evidence and fingerprints are not taken at every crime scene because it would cost a fortune to process.
Costs would be outrageous to the public, and we would need probably 10 times the amount of labs to process information.
In reality, the state has only 2 crime labs, and counties are limited on the number of items they can submit.
The public think, here in Lafayette, we have a lab like you see on CSI. We don't even have a lab in Lafayette. Our nearest lab is either at State Police Post in Indianapolis or Lowell.
This is what Harrington wants potential jurors to know.
It's Hollywood. Hollywood is to entertain you. And when it comes to our world, we're here to gather evidence that we can use in a court of law to prove that a person's committed a crime.
Now, Harrington says before prosecutors choose jurors, they try to help potential candidates separate Hollywood from downtown Main Street Lafayette. He says jurors need to know the difference between reality and TV.
Interesting information, Julie. What's next on the research?
Well, Sparks and Serapin plan on doing experiments. The duo says they'll bring people into a lab and expose them to crime shows, then try to find out what judgments they have about what's actually going on in a courtroom. Julie Kreisen, News Channel 18.